प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। After not having a class last week, we are picking up again after a gap of 2 weeks rather than 1 week. And the topic where we left on June 12 in India or June 11 in the West was where Lord Sri Krishna revealed that with regard to the passage of the Jivatma, I hesitate to use the word soul, for it has been pointed out by some scholars that the word soul has a lot of other connotations, and there are differences between how the word soul is used in the holy books of the Semitic religions, the Abrahamic religions, and how we use the word Atma, Jivatma, and so on. So at places I may just use the word soul by habit, but I'm trying to be careful, for if the word soul means something else, it should not cause confusion. There is this Jivatma, the individual entity that you and I are, and we drop one body, and where do we go is the question. With regard to that, Lord Sri Krishna said that there are two possibilities. One is one reaches certain higher regions of consciousness and comes back. That coming back is called avritti. Yatra kale tu anavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha. Those who have practiced a whole lot of spiritual exercises, as was outlined in this chapter also at the earlier part, fixing the attention to the midpoint of the two brows, contemplating and reciting Om, and so on. They are called yogis. In fact, this chapter concludes with a shloka going all out in praise of yogis. Yoginaha yatra kale avrittim yanti. Yoginaha yatra kale cha anavrittim yanti. When, at what time, depending, that's reference to the time of dying. At what time of dying they return, and at what time of dying they do not return, this will be mentioned. Vakshyami Bharatarshava. That's where we stopped. That was the 23rd verse of this 8th chapter. And we pick up at that place. Let's go to 24. In this class, Sri Krishna spells out the time when the great yogis go to a certain very high plane of existence. We call it loka. One goes to that loka and does not return. Stays with Chaturmukha Brahma, the creator, for a long time, and from there itself they get liberated. There are two verses. Let's read them together, and both of them touch upon this topic. 24 talks about no return, and 25 talks about return to the earth. 24 reads, Shankaracharya connects us tam kalam aha. Bhagavan talks about aha, talks about kalam, that time when yogis no more return to the earth. Agnir Jyotiraha Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vido Janah. This is 24. And in the very next verse, Dhumo Ratris Tatha Krishnaha Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasam Jyotihi Yogi Prapya Nivartate. There are, if you count, 5 criteria. Agnihi, taken literally, when there is fire burning by the side, as one is lying waiting for one's death, that is, we have said 100 times, one doesn't die, but usually such an event is called death. The body dies. The Jivatma leaves the body. Agnihi is fire burning. Fire, as you know, has always been auspicious in Sanatana Dharma. Rigveda begins with the word Agni. Agni Mile Purohitam. That's how this mantra, first mantra of Rigveda, Agni. I worship, I praise Agni. So when fire is burning, please don't think about some accidental fire. I believe a couple of days ago in Malaysia, there was a huge fire. Several buildings were burned down. A young couple, whom I happen to know very closely from Mysore, had gone there to spend some happy holidays. Thank God. They were very lucky. They were so close to the place of that fire, that engulfed many buildings, but nothing happened to them. Maybe now they are on their way back to India. Don't think of those inauspicious forms of fire. The context should be kept in mind. Auspicious fire, maybe fire of certain Vedic rituals is burning. Maybe the lamp in front of God is burning. Maybe some lamp in the light of which one's grandson is studying hard. Agni, same way, Jyoti, other forms of light, maybe sun, maybe as we have 5 sources of light. Mundakopanishad talks about it. Suryaha, Chandraha, Tarakam, Nakshatrani, and Agni. So Agnihi, Jyotihi can mean light in general. Ahaha, daytime. Number 3. Shuklaha, not a surname common in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar and so on. You have so many Shuklas over there, Shukulji they call. But here, Shuklaha is Shukla Paksha. The lunar month has half of it, where 14 to 15 days generally, the moon goes on rising. Moon goes on waxing, and then the moon wanes, waxing and waning. So at the end of Shukla Paksha, there is Purnima. Moon is in full splendor. So those 14 or 15 days, the bright fortnight is Shukla Paksha. Then there is the time, 14 or 15 days, when the full moon recedes, reduces, and slowly arrives at Amavasya, where there is no moon. No moon you call it, or new moon you call it, because the next day the new moon begins. Full moon and new moon. Astrology goes a lot into this. Lot of connection with human psychology also is mentioned. Mind during full moon is said to get more excited. Those who have certain mental disorders become wild during full moon, it is said. And there are so many beliefs and so many stories and a lot of drama also about it. Ghosts and goblins also start dancing wildly on full moon and so on. Let's not go into it. Shuklaha. Here also take it in the auspicious sense. The moon is rising every night. I should say waxing, getting enlarged, and that is auspicious. Then there are Shanmasa Uttarayanam. So we have Agni, Jyoti, Aha, Shuklaha, and then Shanmasa Uttarayanam together is the 6 months of Uttarayana, where the sun is moving from south to north, and then he begins his journey north to south. So we have the whole year split into Uttarayana, going towards north, Uttara Ayana. Ayana is going, Gamana. Shat Masaha. Masaha Visarga drops. Shat Masaha, which are Uttarayanam. Therefore, these five, Agni, Jyoti, Aha, Shuklaha, Uttarayanasya Shat Masaha. These are the time, if you take the shloka literally, which you should not, it means die on such occasions, at such time. You will never return. You go to Brahmaloka, from there you will get liberated. Tatra prayata gachanti brahma brahma vido jana. Those yogis who already have an inkling of Brahma, the Chaturmukha Brahma as well as the absolute Brahma, either way or both ways, they go to Brahma, that is Brahma Loka. The absolute Brahma literally cannot have this going or coming. It is all pervasive. You can go from Bangalore to Hyderabad. You can't say, tomorrow I'm going. Where are you going? I'm going to Akasha. Akasha is everywhere. You can't reach Akasha. You can't get out of Akasha also. Like that, from Brahma you cannot get out, nor can you go to Brahma. But this Brahma, yogis go to Brahma means Chaturmukha Brahma, and therefore Brahma Loka is implied. Adi Shankara explains Agnihi, and he makes a great clarification. Agnihi doesn't have to literally mean fire, but Agnihi is Agni Devata, who is Kalabhimanini Devata. Certain deity, certain divine force, certain celestial energy that is generally connected with burning fire. Generally, not always. This is an important clarification because somebody who is a criminal who has committed a lot of sin and you find he or she dies when some auspicious fire is burning. Just because he died by the side of fire, you think all his sins would be cleaned up? No way. Jyotihi api devata eva kalabhimanini. Atava agni jyotishi yatashrute eva devate. So it is the devatas named Agni and Jyoti, or there are certain other devatas who are not fire god, but who are given the responsibility of overseeing the burning of fire, or they have to oversee the functioning of lights, other forms of light. Just as in our world also, sometimes, let's say there is some department, water department of a government, and some officer is overseeing it during certain time, and his name also happens to be Varun Mishra. So Varun stands for water. Varun stands for rains. So his name also is Varun, and he is overseeing water department of a state of Maharashtra, let us say. But some other time, somebody is overseeing the water department, but her name is Chandramukhi. Chandramukhi Upadhyay is the in charge of water department. So, in the second case, Chandramukhi is not the name of the Devata, the officer, but she is in charge of water department. In the first case, I constructed Varun Mishra or Varun Shukla or Varun Rao, whatever. So Varun. So Shankaracharya acknowledges both possibilities, but both ways, please note, fire itself is not so important over there. The Devata, irrespective of whether it is Agni himself or some other Devata in charge of this fire, Devata is important. Kala Abhimanini Devata. So what is so special about this Devata coming into the picture? You see, when a Punyatma, when somebody who has earned a lot of merit dies, maybe in the dark fortnight, Krishna Paksha, or maybe in Dakshinayana, the bright, brilliant, meritorious Jivatma dies when no fire is burning around. There is no light. He died in darkness, a dark room. But he or she has done a lot of spiritual practice, purified his mind. She has risen in consciousness. Whether there is literally fire or not, light or not, it is Uttarayana or not, it is Shukla Paksha or not, irrespective of that, considering the Jivatma's merit, this Devata, one of these five Devatas, Devata connected with Agni, Devata connected with Jyoti, or Devata connected with the daytime, Devata connected with Shukla Paksha, or Devata connected with Uttarayana. One of them promptly arrives there and carries the Jivatma towards Brahmalok. And same way, if a papi who has messed up his own life a lot and hurt too many people, let down others, deceived, all that, and he dies at a holy place, that too daytime, and some sacrificial fire is burning, and some people are chanting Veda mantras. Wow, what a setting! And this crook dies at that time. Karma is far stronger than all these external settings. Because he had done all kinds of wrongs, the Abhimanini Devata, Devata being feminine, grammatically, we don't say Abhimani, but Abhimanini. Abhimanini Devata of Krishna Paksha, of Dakshinayana, of all those other three, that Devata comes and says, this is my job. This is my job. And the Devata related to Shukla Paksha and so on keeps away. The Krishna Paksha Abhimanini Devata, Agni Abhimanini Devata, one of the five. Oh, not a, in the sinner's case, uh, Dhumaha, Ratrihi. So the dark one. In other words, as per the karma of the Jivatma, certain Devata comes. Everyone will have a doubt here. But then why did Bhishma wait for Uttarayana to drop his body? Why do people go to Kashi and want to die there? The truth is, Kashi or Uttarayana or daytime or sacrificial fire or some religious lamp burning, etc., they do have a little merit. If other factors are equal, that is the expression to be remembered. Other factors being equal, A and B both have done certain high level of merit, let us say. A dies during daytime, B dies during night. As far as their karma is concerned, more or less equal. Then the person who dies at daytime, the person who dies in Kashi, the person who is dying in Uttarayana has an edge over this other fellow. Isn't it same way in this world of ours? Two boys are equally merited in some matter. And then one boy happens to be also the son of a very eminent scholar. When the interview panel thinks about it, we don't want to be partial. If the other person is more merited than this boy, we go for him. But that other person and this person are equal as far as merit is concerned. In addition, this person happens to be the son of an eminent scholar who had served our institution also, some such thing. While other factors are equal, if somebody chooses to be at Kashi while dying, certainly he has a certain edge. That should suffice to clarify that this external timing itself doesn't go very far. Depending on our punya karma, the Abhimanini Devata, Shankaracharya, the very traditional Acharya, who is called the custodian of Sanatana Dharma, he actually revived and put Sanatana Dharma on new footing, a strong foundation. He stood for a lot of orthodoxy. Even today, the Shankara Mathas are very orthodox in so many issues. They don't budge. They don't give some liberal interpretation. This is also okay, that is also okay. Go do it as you wish, etc. No, they are the last ones to say like that. They go for what is said in the scriptures. They go very literally. But Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya himself says here, कालाभिमानिनी देवता अग्निः काल ज्योतिः अपि कालाभिमानिनी अग्नि ज्योतिषि यथा श्रुते एव देवते dual देवता देवते देवता and भूयसातु निर्देशः यत्र काले तं कालम् इति आम्रवणवत्. So Amravana, Amra and Vana, Vana by Sandhi becomes Vana. You may wonder how is the Amra Vana, but that is Sandhi. Amra Vana, that becomes Amra Vana. So there is some garden, a grove, where 100% trees are not mango trees. Let's say there are some 500 trees. As many as 450 are mango trees. Other 50 out of the 500 are other trees. Because of the majority of trees being mango, we say, there is a mango grove there, go there. I will also come there in 10 minutes and meet you. Therefore, that's the example given. So here also, to a great extent, Punyatmas by their karma end up in dying in Uttarayana and so on. To a good extent, lot of people who go spend their last few months or years in Japa Tapa in Kashi, they are meritorious people. At least they have changed towards the end of their life. Therefore, we say, those who die in Kashi go to heaven and so on, or become liberated. Just like those who have got a degree from the IITs, those who have got a medical degree from the AIMS, those who passed. My daughter has passed from the most well-known Wharton School of Business. So, large number of people who pass from Harvard or MIT or Stanford or Wharton, or in India also there are prestigious universities, IITs, ISBs. IIMs. Now another chain has come, ISER, Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. And all this in law, in every field. NALSAR, National Law School, some expansion, NALSARs in many cities. So somebody has studied law from that college, should be. So a lot of trees in that grove are mango trees. To call the whole grove, whole garden mango grove. But some could be not mango trees too. Like that, some Papatma dies during Uttarayana, he is an exception. The the Abhimanini of Dakshinayana comes and picks him up. He may cry, I have died in Uttarayana, why did you come? Shut up. I know what I am doing. Dakshinayana Abhimanini Devata comes and picks up the papi who died in Uttarayana. That Uttarayana doesn't help him that way. So Rवणवत. तथा अहर देवता अहर अभिमानिनी शुक्लः शुक्लपक्ष देवता षण्मास उत्तरायणम तत्रापि देवता एव मार्गभूता स्थितः इति स्थितः अन्यत्र न्यायः. So there also, though we call path a road, a route or a route and so on, actually it is all handed over to the Devata. The Devata manages. So the 6 months also imply the Devata which is supervising. And yes, Anyatra Nyayaha. What it means is, so elsewhere also in other scriptures, this logic has been given. So this is not only in Gita that this means literally something, but we interpret it in a more appropriate way, fairer way, more logically neat way. It's elsewhere also done. So one of the Tippanikaras, no other than Swami Satchidanandendra Saraswati, rightly says, where else, what scriptures? He, with his vast knowledge of great, clear understanding, says in Sutra Bhāshya 434, 435, Bhāshya Bhaga 570, 571, 4221, Bhāshya Bhaga 563. Wow. Swami Satchidanandendra Saraswati, for simplicity we call him SSS, was a walking encyclopedia. All his life he studied all the Vedas, the Upanishads and Gita and Brahma Sutra, but also was constantly in touch with Bhashya, Sutra Bhashya, Gita Bhashya, Upanishad Bhashya, and translated them into Kannada, but some of them have been translated into English, some of his works now. Some are in Hindi too, some are, of course, some he wrote in Sanskrit. He was astoundingly scholarly and a very good sadhu. Formerly was married, but after taking sannyasa, lived yati dharma, as we call it. And therefore, during his time, those who came in touch with him were so touched. They were so impressed. So they called him Abhinava Shankaracharya. In the last century, devotees called him, he is our new, Abhinava means new. He is the new Shankaracharya. In our age, our time, he is our Shankaracharya. So he has clarified all this. In Sutra Bhashya, certain chapter number, certain, they have those sections. Okay. So Anyatra Nyayat, that is also said. And now we see Devata eva Margabhuta. Margabhuta also is Ekavachana there. Devata Margabhuta. I was going to say Margabhutaha, it cannot be, because Devata is singular. Devata eva Margabhuta iti stitaha. Anyatra Nyayah. Now, Tatra Tasmin Marge Prayataha. Those who go by that path, don't take the word path literally. Those who go by such a such a mechanism where the Devata is taking that Jivatma, Brahma Gachanti, Brahma Vidaha, Brahma Upasakaha, Brahma Upasana Paraha Janaha. So they are not Jnanis. If they were Jnanis, there is no going, no coming. They get liberated in the present life itself. The moment it is said traveling, going, something in time, something on the axis of time, then it is the phala, it is the result and reward of karma and upasana, not jnana. In Samyak Darshana, it is Jivan Mukti. These shlokas are not talking about Jivan Mukti. The higher level is Krama Mukti, the lower level is return to the earth. There is no Mukti in the lower level. So, this Shukla and Krishna. Shukla represents Krama Mukti, gradual liberation at Brahmaloka. And Krishna Marga, or the southern route, northern route, southern route. These are just labels to distinguish. These days we call X and Y, A and B, P and Q. So otherwise, the south and north are not to be taken literally in any other manner. It's not that somebody may say, oh, North Indians are more likely to get liberation. That should be so silly. It has nothing to do with North India or South India. Punyatmas are everywhere and Papis also are everywhere. So they are everywhere. So Brahma Upasana Paraha Jana. Kramena iti Vakya Sheshaha. Krama Mukti. So Krama Mukti is implied in this, what they call Brahma Gachanti, Brahma Upasana Paraha. Nahi sadyo bhukti bhajam samyak darshana nishtanam gatihi agatirva kvachit asti. I just now mentioned it. I called it Jivan Mukti, liberated even before the body drops. That Jivan Mukti also is called Sadyo Mukti. Sadyas means instant. You have the clearest understanding of Brahma, of your own true nature, and the oneness of these two, then there is not even a nanosecond gap between that understanding and you are getting liberated. Sadhya, immediately. Sadhyo mukti bhaja, samyak darshana nishtana. For them, no gati going, no agati coming. Natasya pranaha utkramanti. Brahadaranyaka, 4th chapter, 4th Brahmana, 6th mantra. That mantra says, they don't have this business of pranas carrying indriyas, mana, etc. to some other place, etc. Iti shrutehe brahma samlina prana. What happens then to their pranas? What happens to their upadis? They are all dissolved in Brahma. Brahma mayaha, Brahma bhutaha evate. They become Brahma only. In Mundaka Upanishad, there is the most famous line quoted a lot by speakers. After simplifying it, they say, Brahmavidah, Brahmavid, Brahmaiva bhavati. A knower of Brahma becomes Brahma. The original mantra or the line in Mundaka Upanishad is Isayo havai tat paramam Brahma Veda, Brahmaiva bhavati. A little long, but essentially it means Brahmavid, Brahmaiva bhavati. We have pretty much seen the implications of both the slokas, but quickly see Shankara Bhāshya on the 25th sloka. Dhumaha. Earlier it was said Agni, now it is said Dhumaha, smoke. Agnir Jyotihi, instead of that it is Dhuma and Ratri, straight away referring to Ahaha. Agnir Jyoti Rahaha, third one. With respect to Ahaha here, Ratri. So same, Dhuma Abhimanini Devata, Ratri Abhimanini Devata, and so on. So the officer in charge of water department might be visiting some other department one morning. He goes to electricity department. But over there, some matter comes connected to water. Though he is today sitting in some cabin in the electricity department, if the matter is connected to water department, he can take action there itself. From there itself, over phone, over a WhatsApp message, over an email, right? He has the power. Likewise, this Abhimanini Devata takes charge, takes responsibility of a Jivatma who needs to go. Let's say in this case, in this 25th sloka, it's about coming back. And Dakshinayana Devata, etc. Iti cha purvavat devata eva. Shankaracharya goes the extra distance to emphasize. Please don't take the narrow meaning of the physical surroundings. Tatra chandramasi bhavam chandramasam jyoti phalam ishtadikari yogi. So one more nomenclature here is the path by which one goes to Brahmaloka and does not return is Saura Marga, related to Surya. The path by which one may go to heaven or a couple of other wonderful lokas but comes back is Chandra, Chandra Marga, Chandra Marga, Surya Marga, Chandra Marga. So several nomenclatures. And that's not to be taken so literally. Just as you know, when Europeans ruled so many countries, England, Holland, Portugal, France, etc., they ruled so many countries in the world. They left behind a language where white stood for something auspicious and black stood for something negative. A blunder, wrong. Especially the African blacks even today protest. Why should a black flag means protest and negative things? Why should a white flag mean, or white color, a white dove, a white bird being released into air represents peace. White is peace and black is. This is all the legacy of the white Europeans who did it, and various cultures. And so in our Vedic terminology also, through symbolism, certain things were left behind. So today, you and I have to be very careful. We are not putting white, the color white per se, by itself, higher. It is just a language. It's just a terminology. Somehow, in some setting, it just came out. Though in Sanatana Dharma, you can give plenty of examples where black is auspicious. Sri Krishna was black. Krishna Shabda itself means black. Krishna was dark complexion, dark clouds, Neela Mega Shama and so on. Bluish black color, etc. is connected with Sri Krishna. Veda Vyasa was called Krishna Dvaipayana. He was not only dark complexion, but also because of his tapas, he had long hair. And when he came to Hastinapura, the widows of Chitravirya and Vichitravirya, that is Ambika and Ambalika, they were frightened looking at him. But we regard Veda Vyasa as worthy of worship. July 21, we have Vyasa Purnima that's celebrated as Guru Purnima. Therefore, our symbolism is not at all stuck in one kind of bias or anything. Sometimes we call something white as symbolizing auspicious, something auspicious, and some other time black symbolizes. Sometimes it is a tall one who is praised, sometimes somebody who is short. I guess Agastya, a short rishi. And somewhere it is a wise person who is fit and fine, all limbs in good shape, and some other time Ashtavakra with 8 deformities in his body. And all scholars, including King Janaka, fall prostrate before him. So sometimes it is men, sometimes it is women who are adored, worshipped. Maitreyi, Gargi, etc. are held in high regard. And many times some Deva, Rishi Patnis also, Anasuya or Ahalya, etc. So we have plenty of examples. Therefore, Sanatana Dharma is all embracing. Then, of course, some vested interests may be exploited to wrong advantage. That is misuse of power. Otherwise, we always, the wisdom of the Sanatana Dharma always urged us to examine and see something below the surface. Don't go by what is on the surface. Don't go by color of the skin. Don't go by the color of the eyes. Don't go by gender. Don't go by just birth. Somebody may be born of so-called Brahmin parents, but might be walking a sinful path. Keep him away. Somebody else is born of some hunter family or some other varga category. But wow, very pious, very God-minded. Accept her, accept him, and so on. So much for symbolism, so much for this nomenclature. Sri Krishna used the word Dhumo Ratri Krishna Chanmasa Dakshinayanam. So Agnir Jyotihi, two of them were mentioned here, the Dhuma only. So because they are pretty much similar, fire and then other sources of light. Therefore, multiple interpretations are possible. In that shloka also 24, you could take Agnir Jyotihi as one only. The counting is possible. Tatra Chandramasi Bhavam Chandramasam Jyotihi Phalam Ishtadikari. Ishta is not adhikari, but it is ishtadikari. The di is alpa prana, an aspirate. So ishta adi kari. That is that phala which does what is desirable, etc. Adi, not adhi. Ishtadikari yogi karmi prapya bhuktva tat kshayat iha punaha nivartate. So in the Krishna Marga, what has been named as black, so in the Krishna Marga, tat kshaye, when the person's punya gets over, the fellow man or woman, the jivatma, returns to the earth. Nivartate. In this way, we will quickly see the basic meaning of one more shloka. We are arriving at the end of uh, chapter 8. So, 26 is more a summary. Shukla Krishne Gati Hete Jagata Shashvate Mate Ekaya Yatyana Anyaya Avartate Punaha. Shukla Krishne, these are dual number words. Shuklacha, Krishnacha, Shukla Krishne. So some of you who are a bit interested in the Sanskrit part of it, Gati is feminine. Therefore you have to say Shukla Gati, Krishna Gati, like Rama Shabda, Mala Shabda. And then Rama, Rame, Rama, Mala, Male, Mala. Therefore, Shukla Krishne, Krishna becomes Krishne. Shukla cha Krishna cha Shukla Krishne. Gati is dual of the word Gati. Gati is Gamana and Gati, because there are two travels here, two journeys. Shukla Krishne Gati hi ete. Ete also dual of Esha. Esha ete etaha, etam ete etaha, etaya etabhyam etabhihi, like that. Not complicated, please. Those of you who don't know much Sanskrit, don't say, oh, Baba, this is true. Nothing so difficult. If you are using it frequently, it is all easy. Sanskrit is pretty easy, provided you are in touch with it. You are doing a little bit. I would go put it this way: 20 minutes you spend in something related to Sanskrit, everything falls in place. You will be so comfortable. The problem these days is hardly anybody speaks Sanskrit, hardly we get to even hear Sanskrit. And then when some grammar is brought in, above, so complicated and so on. The English language also has a lot of complications. Somewhere you make a noun, adding white becomes whiteness, and some other place you don't. You add hood, king becomes kinghood, maybe, not kingness. Some other place there is a verb. So remit, the verb, and then the noun form is remittance. So once somebody said surrender. So I don't know surrenderance. Surrender doesn't become surrenderance. Interestingly, the root surrender doesn't become anything else. The noun also is surrender. They surrender, and their surrender was appreciated. Noun also is surrender, verb also is surrender, but somewhere else the word changes. So if you start making rules for it, for these roots it is like that, those verbs is like this. Go becomes went, but put doesn't become punt or something. Put. So I don't have to make it a language class. But Shukla Krishne Gati Hete Jagata Shashvate Mate. Certain variety, certain diversity brings a great charm to language and anything else also. Anything else also. Dress, some variety makes it beautiful. Music, so many ragas. Art, so many kinds of art. Philosophies, so many philosophies. So, variety, diversity adds a special charm. Therefore, this dual number and the words chosen by Veda Vyasa to express whatever Sri Krishna had said, probably pretty much same words, but Vyasa here and there must have chosen alternative words or alternative words. Jagataha Shashvate Mate, all are dual. Shashvata singular, Shashvate dual. Mata singular, Mate dual. Jagataha, of course, is one Jagat only, Shashti Ekavachanam. Ekaya yati anavrittim anyaya avartate punah. Shukla gatya anavrittim yati, no return. Krishna gatya, by going by the Krishna marga, avartate punaha, comes back. Sri Shankaracharya also doesn't have to explain, elaborate more. Shukla Krishna, Shukla cha Krishna cha Shukla Krishna. He also gives the Dvandva Samasa Vigraha Vakya. Dana Prakashakatvat Shukla Tadabhavat Krishna. He hits the hammer on the right point. It has nothing to do with white as such, but light Jnana illumines. And therefore, where there is understanding, that has been called bright, white, etc. And where there is no understanding, so more than color of the skin, we have to see this lady understands or this lady does not. If she understands, even if her skin is dark, jet black, we bow down saying, you are light to me. You are Shukla. You are Uttarayana. You are Agni. You are Jyoti. She may be short, she may be dark, she may be whatever. Her teeth may be protruding out. Who cares? I must learn from her. Jnana prakashakatva shukla tadabhavat Krishna. एते शुक्लकृष्णे हि गति जगतः इति अधिकृतानां ज्ञानकर्मणोः. So these are the two gatis, gati hi gati, for all adhikaris. Some are adhikaris for jnana, more mature fellows. Some are adhikaris, they are at present. One day they will grow, everybody will grow to greater heights of spirituality. Some are right now fit for karma. न जगतः सर्वस्यैव एते गति संभवतः. Everybody does not. जगतः सर्वस्य एव. What is he saying? Right. Sarvasya. So do all in this world get one of these two? No, no, no. These two are for people who are pretty advanced. What about Nishiddha Acharya? Again, I take recourse to Tippani by SSS. There are a lot of people who have lived sinful life. They neither go by Krishna Gati nor by Shukla Gati. They go to Naraka, they go to Patala, they go to some other lokas. Both these are quite wonderful. This is the lower group in this goes to Swarga and some other worlds, then comes back. The higher group goes to Brahma Loka. Both are, you praiseworthy. So that's the meaning of this Shankara Bhāshya line. Sarvasya ete gati na sambhavata. There are Nishiddhacharis, sinners, who neither take Krishna Marga nor Shukla Marga. They have a third one which is downward, not going up at all. Shashvate nitye samsarasya nityatvad mate aviprete. Mate is again dual. Mata mate are considered. Aviprete, considered. Ekaya shuklaya yate anavrittim, anyaya itaraya avartate punaha. One is marked by no return, the second is marked by return. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.